Welcome back to the Nerd Work Nexus. We're going to be talking about something really cool today, a revolutionary cancer treatment that uses the body's own mechanisms
Wow.
to destroy tumor cells.
That's amazing.
I know, right? And for all of you researchers and healthcare pros and tech enthusiasts out there, get ready to take a closer look at DR5 agonists.
So what's really fascinating here is we're not talking about some brand new discovery.
Right.
Scientists have known about DR5 or death receptor 5 for decades.
Mm-hmm.
It's a protein
Okay.
found on cells that can initiate apoptosis,
Right.
essentially programmed cell death.
So what's the challenge then?
Well, the real challenge has always been finding a way to activate DR5 specifically in cancer cells
Oh,
without harming healthy tissue.
gotcha. So that's where the innovation comes in.
That's where it gets really interesting.
Okay, I'm seeing these small extracellular vesicles, or SEVs,
Yes.
mentioned everywhere in the research, and
Mhm.
they sound like something straight out of science fiction.
They do, but they're actually naturally produced by our bodies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're tiny capsules that cells use for communication. Think of them like microscopic delivery trucks transporting messages throughout the body.
Okay.
And what's brilliant about this research is that scientists have figured out how to engineer SEVs derived from natural killer cells.
Oh, wow.
You know, the ones already known for their cancer-fighting abilities.
Right, right.
And they load them up with an antibody fragment that activates DR5.
So it's like giving these SEVs a turbocharged boost
Exactly.
to make them even better at.
To make them incredibly precise in targeting and eliminating cancer cells.
Wow, that's amazing. But does it actually work? How effective are these engineered SEVs in fighting cancer?
The preclinical studies are very promising.
Okay.
Lab tests show that these SEVs significantly reduce tumor size.
That's great.
They've been tested in mice with melanoma, breast, and liver cancers. And in each case, they outperformed traditional DR5 targeting antibodies in both tumor suppression and survival times.
So not just effective, but actually better than the current gold standard.
That's what the research is suggesting.
That's really impressive.
Yeah.
What makes these engineered SEVs so much more effective?
Okay.
So
Is it simply the targeted delivery, or is there something more going on?
it's the combination of targeted delivery and a multi-pronged attack.
Okay.
These SEVs are like smart bombs,
I like that.
engineered to seek out and bind to cancer cells with high DR5 expression, delivering the death signal right where it's needed most.
Okay.
But what's really fascinating is that they don't stop there.
Oh.
They also go after the tumor's support system.
The tumor support system. So they're not just taking out individual cancer cells,
Right.
they're disrupting the entire environment that allows the tumor to thrive.
Exactly. They target cells like cancer-associated fibroblasts and myeloid-derived suppressor cells,
Gotcha.
which help tumors grow and evade the immune system.
These SEVs disrupt this protective barrier, making the tumor much more vulnerable.
So it's like a double whammy.
Yeah,
They kill the cancer cells directly and then break down the walls of their fortress.
I like that analogy.
That's incredibly clever, and I'm guessing this also has implications for side effects.
Well, yeah, because
We know that traditional cancer treatments like chemo and radiation can be incredibly harsh.
that's a key advantage here because SEVs are naturally produced by the body
Okay.
and can be engineered to be incredibly specific in their targeting.
Right.
The hope is that they'll cause far fewer side effects than traditional cancer treatments.
That would be amazing.
It would.
And then plus the fact that they can be manufactured and stored easily
Exactly.
opens up
Huge possibility.
accessibility. You mean like off-the-shelf therapy?
Exactly.
That would be huge, especially for patients in areas with limited access to specialized treatments.
Absolutely. This could potentially revolutionize cancer care,
Wow.
making cutting-edge treatment available to a much wider population.
Okay, so if I'm understanding this correctly, we have a potential cancer treatment that's more effective than current therapies,
Right.
has fewer side effects,
Potentially.
and could be readily available to patients around the world.
That's the goal.
This all sounds incredibly promising.
It is exciting research.
But of course, we have to be realistic.
Of course.
What are the challenges? What needs to happen before this becomes a reality for patients?
Well, we have to remember that this research is still in the preclinical stage.
Okay.
The results so far have been incredibly encouraging,
Right.
but we need to see how this translates to human patients.
Yeah, of course.
The next step is to refine the production process to create clinical-grade SEVs
Gotcha.
and conduct safety studies to make sure they're safe for use in humans.
So the focus now is on scaling up production, ensuring safety, and paving the way for clinical trials.
Absolutely. It's a rigorous process.
Yeah.
But it's crucial to ensure that any new therapy is both safe and effective for patients.
Right. And this is a very complex topic
It is.
with lots of moving parts.
Yeah.
Maybe we could take a step back and focus on the mechanisms of action for DR5 agonists.
Okay, sure.
I think a deeper understanding of that would be helpful for our listeners.
Yeah.
What actually happens at the molecular level when DR5 is activated?
It's like flipping a switch on a cellular self-destruct sequence.
Right.
DR5 activation triggers this cascade of events
Right.
that ultimately leads to the dismantling of the cell from within.
So it's like,
Apoptosis.
gotcha.
Yeah.
So how do these DR5 agonists actually flip that switch? I mean, I get that they bind to the receptor,
Right.
but what's happening at the molecular level?
Okay, so think of DR5 as a lock
Okay.
on the cell surface,
Mhm.
and the DR5 agonist is the key.
I like that.
When the agonist binds to the receptor, it effectively unlocks the death pathway.
Okay, so the pathway's unlocked.
Yeah.
Then what happens?
Well, then it gets really interesting.
Well, what are the steps involved in this cellular self-destruction? It all seems very organized for something that essentially ends in cellular disintegration.
It is. It's a fascinatingly elegant cascade of events.
Okay.
So once the DR5 receptor is activated,
Right.
it recruits other proteins inside the cell,
Okay.
forming a complex called the DISC,
The DISC.
or death-inducing signaling complex.
Catchy name.
Yeah.
What happens next?
Well, this DISC
Mm-hmm.
then activates enzymes called caspases.
Caspases. And what are those?
Think of them as molecular scissors. These caspases start snipping apart essential proteins within the cell,
Wow.
dismantling its structural components and disrupting its vital functions.
So it's a very controlled demolition.
It is.
It's not just like a random explosion,
No.
but a carefully orchestrated dismantling of the cell from the inside out.
Yeah,
It's actually quite brilliant when you think about it.
it is.
And this entire process is specific to cancer cells.
That's the goal.
Okay,
And the preclinical research suggests that's precisely what's happening.
that's amazing.
These SEVs, loaded with DR5 agonists, target cancer cells with high DR5 expression
Okay.
and trigger apoptosis, leaving healthy cells relatively untouched.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
That's the holy grail of cancer treatment, isn't it?
it is.
Killing cancer cells without harming healthy tissue.
Yeah,
It's what makes this research so exciting.
it really is.
We've been trying to crack this code for decades.
Exactly. Traditional cancer treatments like chemo and radiation are like carpet bombing a city to take out a few key targets.
Oh, wow.
They're effective, but the collateral damage is immense.
Yeah.
This approach is more like using a surgical strike.
Right.
Precise, targeted, and with minimal damage to surrounding structures.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
It really drives home the point.
Yeah.
So if we zoom out a bit, what does this mean for the future of cancer treatment? Are we on the verge of a paradigm shift?
I think it's certainly possible.
Okay.
We're seeing a convergence of different fields, nanotechnology, immunology, molecular biology, all coming together to create incredibly sophisticated therapies.
So this DR5 agonist technology could potentially be applied to other diseases as well.
Absolutely. Imagine being able to engineer SEVs to target any cell type with a specific surface receptor.
Wow.
We could potentially target cells involved in autoimmune diseases, neurodegenerative disorders, even genetic conditions.
That's pretty mind-blowing.
It is.
So we're talking about a future where we can essentially reprogram cells using these tiny SEVs as delivery vehicles for targeted therapies.
It's not science fiction.
Wow.
It's the future of medicine.
Okay.
We're moving away from the one-size-fits-all approach and towards personalized therapies tailored to an individual's unique genetic and molecular profile.
This is definitely a NerdWork Nexus moment.
I agree.
I have to ask, what are the biggest hurdles to overcome? What's standing in the way of making this future a reality?
Well, there are always challenges
Right.
when you're pushing the boundaries of science.
Yeah.
One is scalability. Right now, we're talking about producing these engineered SEVs in a lab setting, which is fine for research.
Right.
But to make this therapy widely accessible, we need to be able to manufacture them on a much larger scale.
Right. And I'm guessing cost is a factor as well.
Absolutely. New technologies are often expensive initially,
Yeah.
but as production becomes more efficient and economies of scale kick in, the costs will come down.
Right.
But it's something we need to be mindful of.
Of course.
Especially when it comes to ensuring equitable access to these therapies.
That's a really important point.
It is.
Okay, so scalability and cost are two big hurdles.
Yes.
What else?
Then, of course, there's the regulatory landscape.
Right.
Any new therapy has to go through rigorous testing and clinical trials to prove its safety and efficacy
Oh, for sure.
before it can be approved for widespread use.
Yeah, I can only imagine how complex that process must be, especially for something as groundbreaking as this.
It's a long road,
Yeah.
but it's essential to ensure patient safety.
Right. Well, we're definitely going to be keeping a close eye on the progress of this research. It has the potential to transform medicine as we know it.
It really does.
Let's shift gears a bit and talk about some of the specific challenges researchers are facing when it comes to translating this research from the lab to the clinic.
Okay.
What are some of the obstacles they're encountering in bringing these engineered SEVs to patients? I know you mentioned scalability and cost,
Yes.
but are there other technical hurdles?
Yes, several.
Okay.
Manufacturing SEVs on a large scale with consistent quality
Right.
is a significant challenge.
Okay.
Then there's the issue of storage and delivery.
Right.
SEVs are delicate structures,
Okay.
and maintaining their integrity during transport and storage is crucial for their effectiveness.
I see. So it's not just about creating them, but also about preserving their functionality throughout the entire process.
Exactly.
That makes sense. What else?
And once you administer them, there's the question of biodistribution,
Biodistribution.
ensuring that the SEVs reach the target tumor cells and are effectively taken up by those cells.
So basically making sure they go where they're supposed to go and actually get inside the cancer cells.
Exactly.
It sounds like there's a lot of complexity here.
There is.
Right.
Anything else? And then there are the challenges of monitoring the therapy's effectiveness and potential side effects once it's in the patient.
So even after they're administered,
Right.
there's still ongoing monitoring and evaluation
Yes.
to ensure the therapy is working as intended and not causing any unintended harm.
Precisely. Developing new therapies is a multifaceted process.
Right.
With challenges at every stage.
It's a testament to the dedication and ingenuity of researchers that they're making progress despite these obstacles.
It really is.
Absolutely. Speaking of expertise, you mentioned earlier that this research is a convergence of different fields.
Yes.
Could you elaborate on that a bit?
Sure.
What are some of the key disciplines that are contributing to this breakthrough?
So we have nanotechnologists working on engineering the SEVs,
Okay.
optimizing their size, shape, and surface properties for targeted delivery. Then there are immunologists who are experts in the immune system and how it interacts with cancer cells,
Right.
providing insights into how to enhance the SEV's ability to trigger an immune response against the tumor. And let's not forget the molecular biologists who are deciphering the intricate signaling pathways involved in apoptosis,
Right.
and the bioengineers who are developing new tools and techniques for manufacturing and characterizing SEVs.
It's amazing how much collaboration is involved in cutting-edge research like this.
It is.
It really highlights the interconnectedness of different scientific disciplines.
Absolutely. And the importance of fostering interdisciplinary collaboration.
Yeah.
It's at the intersection of these different fields that truly groundbreaking discoveries are made.
Well, it certainly seems like we're witnessing a groundbreaking discovery in action with this SEV and DR5 agonist technology.
I think so.
It's incredibly exciting to think about the potential impact this could have on the future of medicine.
It really is like assembling a puzzle.
Right.
Each piece representing a different area of expertise.
Yeah.
And when they all come together, you get this incredibly detailed picture of how these therapies work.
Right.
And how we can optimize them for maximum impact.
That's a great way to put it.
Thanks.
It's not just about the science. It's about the people behind the science.
Yeah.
The collaborative spirit and the relentless pursuit of knowledge that drives innovation.
Absolutely. And it's important to acknowledge that we're still in the early stages of this research.
Of course.
There's still much we don't know and many challenges to overcome.
Right. Like we were discussing earlier, scalability, cost, biodistribution.
Yeah.
Those are all big hurdles. But even with these challenges,
Right.
the potential here is undeniable.
It is.
We're talking about a completely new approach to treating disease,
Absolutely.
one that's incredibly precise and potentially far less toxic than traditional methods.
Exactly. And the beauty of this technology is its adaptability.
Okay.
As we learn more about the intricate workings of cells and how they communicate,
Right.
we can engineer SEVs to carry different payloads, target different receptors,
Wow.
and modulate a wide range of cellular processes.
So it's not just about DR5 agonists in cancer.
No.
It's about a platform technology that could revolutionize how we treat a wide range of diseases.
It could.
It's about harnessing the power of our own cells to heal and repair.
Exactly. It's about moving towards a more personalized and targeted approach to medicine,
Right.
one that takes into account the unique molecular makeup of each individual.
And it's about pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
It is.
It's about embracing the unknown, asking bold questions, and relentlessly pursuing answers that could change the world.
Absolutely. That's the spirit of the Nerdwork Nexus, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's about celebrating the power of science and technology to solve complex problems and improve human lives.
Yeah,
And it's about sharing that excitement and wonder with our audience.
I agree.
Well, I certainly feel excited and wonder-filled after our conversation today.
Me too.
It's been a privilege to explore the world of SEVs, DR5 agonists, and the future of medicine with you.
It's been my pleasure. And to all you Nerdwork Nexus listeners out there, keep asking questions,
Keep exploring.
keep exploring, and keep pushing the boundaries of knowledge.
Yeah.
Who knows what groundbreaking discoveries await us just around the corner?
Until next time, stay curious.